Great day, everyone. Jereshia here. I help individuals gain the clarity that they crave to confidently sell their services online. And I just left service. I haven't done a Facebook Live about a sermon or just about after service in a long time. But today we were really going into learning about the commandments and understanding the commandments. And there was a portion of service that really stuck out to me where they're going through and talking about how, we need to make sure that we recognize that we're set apart for a relationship, that God created us to have a relationship with us, and that with that relationship comes a responsibility. And I think so much of that, as I was sitting in service, correlates to how we show up and we support our clients as we're growing our business. And where I think a lot of business owners go wrong. So I think a lot of the time, I see this even in my students. I see this in others. I think, I think this just happens in the online space. But we have this idea, this desire, this passion to do something. And a lot of us will use business as the avenue to solve this problem that we have. Some of us want to be able to have more passive income so we can have additional income to travel or to support our families. Some of us have this desire to have this impact on others through the work that we do. So we figure out a way to solve that problem by creating a business. But many of us are so focused on how do I get more clients? How do I get more customers? How do I get more leads? And, just like God, he created us, but then he created us with a purpose to have a relationship with us. And as we as business owners are creating our business, we have to make sure that we're not falling in the trap of creating these new clients, creating these customers, but not actually taking the time to build a relationship with them beyond that initial transaction. And as a service-based business owner especially, people are hiring us and making the decision to pay us for the transformation that we're going to provide for them through the service that we are delivering. And so many of us, us delivering a service, we have to make sure that we have a heart of serving and realizing that we are bringing on customers and that our relationship with those customers needs to be custom in the sense that we are building, individualized relationships with the individuals that are investing in us. And it's tough being able to, I think this is just something I think we can forget about sometimes, because especially if you're in the beginning stages of your business, or maybe you're still in the phase where you're building the foundation of your business, it can be so hard to not get caught up in your ego, not get caught up in what you want, how you want, when you want, the way you want. Sometimes we can show up in the very beginning stages of our business like, I'm providing all this value, I'm doing all this stuff, I'm entitled to certain people, paying me. Like we can have this feeling, but we forget of why we're here in the first place. Like we are here to be of service, to solve somebody else's problem. And I just think it's really important to not forget about that heart, that human behind the transaction, especially if you're dealing online. I think it's easier for us to get disconnected because we can't, versus we're about to go into the mall, the person that's in there about to, who's going to check us out, they can see the person who's buying the product. So I think it can be a little bit more natural to actually want to have real customer service and to focus on the customer that's in front of them and to build that relationship with them. In the online space, it's usually some stranger, you've never seen their face. You don't know what they look like. You don't know really much about them. They just give you a Stripe transaction and a payment goes through. So I just think that's really important. Did I forget anything? I thought we were talking about a lot of stuff. DJ's with me. Say hi, DJ. We were having a really heated conversation about it as we were driving to the mall. And I think even some of the clients who go through services that sell, or some of the clients that I've worked with, sometimes I think we can just forget about that. And I noticed that for people who are in the beginning stages, that, we can just lose sight of the bigger reason as to why we are here. And I think all of us need to get reconnected with that. Not just, people always ask the question, well, why are you doing this? You need to be rooted in your why so you can sustain the challenges and the hurdles as you're growing, because it will come. You need to be connected to your why to be able to to like stay in the game, to keep fighting the good fight. And I think even when you're thinking about your why, I want you to think about your why beyond just your own necessities. Like people will say, I want to start a business because I want, to have a better quality of life. I want, a bigger apartment. I want, to send my kids to a better school or whatever it is. But think about your why beyond just you. And like, my why is I want to see more women of color having a voice at the table, being in a position of influence and power. Like I want to, make enough money in my business so we can start a foundation where we're paying off other people's student loans. Like my why is so much bigger than just me and my household. It's really connected to this bigger vision of, helping other women who look like me have their own I think it's really the economic equalizer. I think we're the bridge to be able to equal pay, to like equal access to opportunities. I think entrepreneurship is an amazing vehicle that allows us to do that. And, the role of what I teach in my programs and in my services is teaching other people how to tap in to this, the abundance that comes with being able to be your own business owner and to creating your own additional streams of income outside of a paycheck. But it's bigger than my household. It's bigger than just me. It's bigger than just my family. And when you really think about the customers that you are serving through the service that you sell, this is bigger than you. Like they're not just your ATM machine where, they are, they should be I'm entitled, they should pay me for my service. Like you have to think about the work that you're doing is you're pouring into somebody else's vision. You're pouring into a vision that God has given somebody else, and you're playing a part of their journey and being able to actualize their assignment. And I think we need to keep that in our forefront as we're like serving our clients and supporting our clients, is think beyond just the work that we're doing for our livelihood and for our families, but really think about the impact and the imprint that you are leaving on the person that you are called to serve, who's made an investment with you, who's made that transaction with you. And make sure that you don't forget about that bigger why. Like you are really playing a role in somebody else's assignment. And like, just don't take that responsibility lightly. And that was just something that, really hit home today in church where, we're meant for relation, but with that relationship comes a responsibility. And as a service provider, as a business owner, that is a responsibility that far too often I see my clients, myself, like others in our space losing sight of. And I just want to make sure that today, as we're stepping into a new week, as you're creating your goals and setting your goals for this week or for the next quarter, or even thinking about 2019, just don't lose sight of the bigger assignment, not just our bigger assignment, but the assignment of those that we're calling that we're serving through our business. And just don't forget about the customer on the other end of that transaction. Like really look at not just how can you go get more clients and make more money, but how are you really crafting an individualized and personalized relationship with the person that you are serving, and just making sure that you're not losing sight of the human on the other end of that transaction. So hope this was helpful or just insightful, or I don't know, pepped you up a little bit on this Sunday afternoon. If you want to come hang out with us more and continue the conversation, I invite you to join my Facebook group, Selling Signature Services with Jereshia Hawk. You can click the link in the title of this Facebook Live to request access to join us. There's hundreds of service-based business owners who have a heart to serve. So I'd love for you to hang out and continue the conversation with us over there. So I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, everyone.